All right, let's call the meeting to order for the Port Urban Enterprise Association. If everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Bert will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for rescheduling your time for this week, just so I could be here, and I appreciate that. Do we have any public comment? Hearing none, we're going to move to the minutes. Everybody had the minutes in their packet, I believe. Do we have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are passed. We will move to the claims. Mary Ann.
There's only two expenses.
Looks, make sure you get microphones.
There are two expenses on the claim docket. One of them is the final payment to Rural King. That was a 5-year process, and this is payment 5 out of 5.
Yes? Oh, we're good.
5 years ago by.
5 years flies by, as we all know, so. So, yeah, last payment. So really only two items in the claim document. I will entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the claim docket.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Claims are passed. Moving right along, financials.
We've got a financial statement. Nothing irregular with that. We have maybe 5 businesses that have not paid their mandatory contribution yet, so I'll send them another invoice and maybe attach a love letter that threatens them with disqualification if they don't. I'll cite the Indiana code.
Yeah, make sure we reach out to them on the contact information that they have, if there's any assistance that you need or.
A couple of them are frequent companies that we've had issues.
I'll work with you on that, just to make sure that we at least identify.
And they don't owe a lot. Most of them do not owe that much. You know, probably $2,000-3,000.
Is it out of line to ask you to tell us the 5 that they are, in case we know them?
I don't have that information with me, but I'll be more than happy to call you.
Yeah, we'll work through it, maybe forward it out to the group, and then we'll follow up for next meeting to make sure that they've all been contacted, and then probably make a decision at next meeting whether they need to be sent something for disqualification. So we'll check that out at that time.
Okay.
So let's not, yeah, I would still reach out to them or send them something, but the disqualification, we can wait until the next meeting to discuss that. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financials.
Motion to approve?
Was that Ryan?
Yes.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Who seconded it? Or-
I did.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know your voices yet.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Financials are passed. No old business. We are going to move on to new business. I believe we have a couple development agreements that we need to walk through, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Cook.
Thanks, Mike. So you will remember the next 2 items are 2 that we've previously acted on, and the board directed us to work with Attorney Matt Hagenow to draft the actual agreements that govern the special grants, and so we've done that. All of the terms within both agreements, but this specific one for 1100 Lincoln Way are as the board wished, and I'll just provide a short summary of that for you. But pleased to kind of share, I know the public has heard this, a little bit of this project before, but this is with Blockhead Brew Works, who would be opening in the Carpenters Union Building at 1100 Lincoln Way. So just the general parameters of the agreement. The UEA would be granting a special grant of $200,000 to assist with building improvements necessary for them to occupy the space. Those dollars are matched with the exact same amount of investment from both the Carpenters Union and Blockhead themselves. The other things to mention that might be interesting or worth mentioning here. So the company is required to occupy and operate for 3 years of time within that space. They'll complete the project, or they're required to complete the project no later than December 31st of 2025. They'll provide payment. They will provide proof to the UPA, to the LPUEA that all of their contractors are paid and subs are paid on the project. And then they will maintain normal restaurant business hours, which is at least 5 days a week for, at a minimum, the 3 years that they will be in operation. We will hold a lien on the property that will be released a third, so 33% each year that as they meet those criteria. It is in this agreement listed as a first position lien, although we acknowledge that if they do finance a portion of the project, that we will take a second position, which would be required for them to be able to finance any equipment or furnishings in the space. That's the meat of the agreement. It has been, again, drafted by Attorney Hagenow, Blockhead's attorney reviewed as well. We did trade a little bit of language back and forth, and it is in its final form. Did go ahead and ask the company to sign, which they've done, just to expedite things a little bit, as it will save us a little bit of time depending on how the UEA chooses to act tonight. But happy to answer any questions you have. I can pass this agreement around, and we can discuss further, and then the hope being that we are ultimately in favor of signing this. We would officially announce the project tonight. Jessica Spoljaric, the Director of Communications for the city, has drafted a press release, and pending your action tonight, we would send that out to local media and officially announce this later this evening.
So we have approved the budget for this, obviously, prior, pending the development agreement. That's obviously a development agreement, so I think what we just need is approval for me to execute the document, and then I would sign and obviously get it into process. But I'll open it up to questions first, or a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion or any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain?
Oh, we got an abstention? All right, the motion's passed, so I will get that executed and we'll get that off. And the next one, Cutler Properties.
Similar situation. Again, you'll remember that the board approved this grant and then asked, I think at our last meeting, asked to have this agreement drafted as well. This is with Cutler Properties, 822 Lincoln Way, who plans to redevelop the second and third floors of their buildings. So I'll just run through, again, the board had some direction on how you'd like to see the grant structured, and we followed that to a T. Ultimately, they would be eligible for $21,400 in the form of a grant in 2025 to be utilized for interior demolition of the second floor, installation of new HVAC, installation of new electric service, repair and sealing of floors, repair and finishing of walls, and installation of a small bathroom and work sink on the second floor. And that would be matched with matching dollars from from Cutler Properties. In 2026, they would be eligible for $36,400 for the construction of a new storefront entrance, staircase to the second floor, interior staircase from the second floor to the third floor. And then in 2027, they would be eligible for $46,400, construction of 10 private studio, office / creative spaces on the third floor, as well as replacement of the third floor windows and doors and installation of a new metal fire escape. So each of those years or each of those grants we'd follow the same process, which would be, we would pay 30 days after they provide satisfactory documentation to this board, and then the project is inspected by the city engineer to make sure that the city is approving that work as well, which I know is important to the board. They will ultimately complete the entirety of the project no later than 12/31 of 2027. They'll follow all zoning and building codes applicable to the real estate, use local contractors wherever possible, and the rest of the agreement matches the typical language we use on all of our agreements. So happy to answer questions about this one if you have them.
Questions? Again, similar to this, we approved the budget amount. I think pretty much everything is in line with exactly how he laid it out, just memorialized in the development agreement. So with that, I'll need a motion for me to execute.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Who did the motion? Scott?
Either.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott and Vicky, okay.
Did we fight over the second, or did we fight? Oh, okay. Motion is second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the next one's done. And I don't know if we need, on the next one, I don't know if we need technically an approval. We've got the budget passed, so basically, I think it just needs to be noted that Code Enforcement Office, the individual that's going to be working, we had approved a budget for the code enforcement, actually for the dumpster program. I take that back, not the code
We
enforcement.
budgeted 95,000, of which 85,000 was to be for the cost of the dumpsters. And then the 10,000 was to be to hire a part-time person on the weekends, on Saturdays, to monitor activity and items that go into the dumpster.
Yeah, so I was approached by code enforcement, who manages the dumpster program as well. So the individual that's going to be in there, from my understanding, basically, he just wanted to say, hey, this is not going to be just a separate individual who's going to be hired to just do the dumpster program. They will still monitor and work some Saturdays for the dumpster program, but it's going to support that code enforcement position. Just wanted full clarity on that. So I'm bringing it. I guess I would ask for approval, just so we formalize it, but that's it. So we're really not changing much in the budget. There's still going to be some coverage for the dumpster program, I believe, on the weekend, which is the Saturday days that he was going to utilize it for. We're not changing the budget that we've already approved, so that's still intact, so.
So it will still be 95,000, with 85,000 for the dumpster cost, and then $10,000.
For the labor support,
Okay.
or personnel support.
This is just a change in the specific allocation of where the money's going, but
Yes.
it's all going
The
toward the
use.
same purposes ultimately.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Who seconded?
Bert and Julie? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any,
No, 'cause that's not his, I thought it was his position, it's not.
okay, all right, so we're good, okay. All right, so that is passed. Lastly, we have a community enhancement grant for the Parks Department 5K run. For those that watch in the public, we do have community enhancement grants that those folks that are putting on, of traditionally what this was proposed was for,
Did you miss one? I thought we had this one first.
yeah, I don't have my glasses on, so I appreciate your help there, Bert. So we need discussion and action on a community enhancement grant to the City of LaPorte Parks and Recreation Department for movies in the park on June 6th, 2025. And just for clarity, we do have a budget item that we give for the civic position, which is based on activities that go on within the civic and the zone for downtown Monroe Street activities and those kind of things, which are separate from the park. So they're not trying to double dip there, I guess is what I'm saying. So they have activities that are going on with the park. So this first one's for movies in the park. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Thanks, Scott. A second?
Second.
I feel like we're in the twilight zone today, but motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And they have another event, so that is approved. Sorry about that, that is approved. Another event for a 5K on Earth Day, which is actually coming up on April 26th. And again, a $500 request for that event. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Ryan. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And as I was saying, for public view, is the community enhancement grants are up to $500 grants for those activities and events that are coordinated within the zone. So anybody that's running something, please apply. We don't get a lot of folks that apply. We only get a few requests each year, but we do have funds set aside in our budget for those events. So if you're running an event, put an application, contact Mary Ann Richards at City Hall. Is that it? Any other business?
A real quick question, who runs the webpage on the city site? I was just looking at it, and we probably need to update with the 2025 schedule, 2025. Do you know who, oh, you do that? Oh, okay. I just
So,
happened to be noticing. Also, we did a press release for 2024, things that the UEA did, so we can update that press release. Oh, we didn't? I thought we did.
So we've got
No, I think, no.
Jessica.
Yeah.
I want to say Jess, did we not do
that
that?
might have been 2023 in
Oh.
2024.
Time just flies when you're having.
Well, I guess so.
So I think what we could do is maybe talk to Jess and see if you could provide her with some of the things that we did, and maybe she sort of coordinates a press release, that would be good. And then by next meeting, maybe having the website
have it
updated.
updated.
I think
I've been slowly getting to it.
and we carry the applications for the grants. Are they 2025 yet, or do we need to update those?
The 2025 business grant and the 2025 community enhancement grant done. And I've been distributing them to people who ask.
Okay. We'll forward them to us as
One
well.
of them posted on the city website.
Okay. Make sure that I have that, so because we get a lot of requests through our site to get them
And
as well.
I'll email you so you can have them put on LEAP's
Yeah.
website.
All right. Thank you, Vicki, for that. Good to have that updated. So with that, our next meeting will be March 19th, 2025 at 4 PM in the City Council chambers. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Julie?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, Vicki.
So-
Do we have
Second.
Julie seconds? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?